Section 3.2.1, Topic 3, Paper 6, considers the information requirements for applying for authorization of a collective investment scheme. And that information includes a letter about appointment of approved person to receive notices, who they are, the appointment of trustee for a unit trust, custodian for a mutual fund, remember the difference, appointment of the management company, appointment of auditors for a management company, and if it's a mutual fund corporation, the auditors of the corporation, the offering document of the scheme, the collective investment scheme, including the product key fact statement that we saw in the previous lecture, constitutive documents of the collective investment scheme, Hong Kong representative agreement and undertaking for a non-Hong Kong based scheme. So whether the scheme is not run in Hong Kong, such a representative agreement with a non-Hong Kong based management company, and for a recognized jurisdiction scheme, evidence of authorized status in the recognized jurisdiction. Okay, so that's an overview of the information that you're going to provide for your application for authorization of a collective investment scheme. The offering document, right at the top of page 17, we're told that the offering document scheme is the document or documents issued together containing information on a scheme to invite offers by the public to buy units, shares in the scheme. And remember, it includes the product key fact statement. These offering documents must be SFC approved, must be in English and Chinese, and there is what must be disclosed so as to help investors make the investment decision. I'm not going to go through all of the points. Can they be examined? Unfortunately, yes. So now we're starting to see there's just an enormous amount of information in topic 3. You're not going to remember all. Do the questions and then come back and see if you remembered the points that have been raised. Information in the constitutive documents that you're providing will include the prospectus, investment management agreement, trustee custodian agreement, trust deed for a unit trust, if it is a unit trust, articles of association, if it's a corporation, a mutual fund corporation, and any material contracts. And we then, at the top of page 18, list the information to be included in these constitutive documents. Again, I'll let you read through that. Now, advertising requirements. Remember, we have a collective investment scheme being made available to the investing public of Hong Kong often will be advertised. And so the SFC is very keen to make sure that the advertising is accurate, not misleading. And they have published the Collective Investment Scheme Advertising Guidelines. The full name of it is there, the beginning of section 3.3. Okay, the guidelines on the advertising includes 4 sub-bullet points there: distribution materials, all the different types of materials that can be used, display-only materials, broadcasts, radio, TV, cinema, and interactive systems. That is increasingly relevant nowadays. The internet, interactive voice message systems maybe, but websites definitely, and social media. Issuer of an advert must keep supporting documents for all material information for 3 years from publication date, and requirements apply to both authorized and unauthorized collective investment schemes. So if you are advertising an unauthorized collective investment scheme to professional investors, for example, maybe a private equity fund through a professional investor magazine, you still have to comply with the SFC advertising requirements. Language. Okay, now we're getting into the weeds. Read through the material that is there with regard to the language you use in your advertisements. Any performance information that is provided in the advertisements, there is a number of conditions and they are listed on page 19. Warning statements should be in the advertisements, pointing out general and particular risks of investing, and then we list statements which should be clear, not disguised, and they are again listed at the bottom of page 19. Top page 20, radio, television, cinema, the warning statements that should be read out. And then with regard to internet, I would be very much aware, prior approval of the SFC is needed if web pages are targeted at Hong Kong investors. So prior approval of the SFC for web pages. Unfortunately, I'm told that can take quite some time. Hard copy of the web page and the script should be given to the SFC. Banner ads, we're told, do not require approval unless they contain a link to a website, which requires SFC authorization. Now, I glossed over a lot of the detailed information there, and that's not to say you don't need to know it, but you can read it in your own time, although I am highlighting the internet points because that, I would say, has more chance nowadays of popping up in a question than the other material. 3.4, ongoing requirements. SFCs publish standardized forms to be submitted for various compliance obligations, including mergers, restructuring, etc. 3.4.1 considers any changes you make to scheme documentation, and not surprisingly, you must have prior approval of the SFC before you change any scheme documentation, and we list where the proposed changes could take place.